United take on Ipswich, and normally we probably wouldn't preview this game because it's a mid-table side against one of the bottom sides in the league. However, there's a Portuguese man in the dugout, and he's probably going to come with a lot of surprises. We're going to talk about him in a separate video, so make sure you go and watch that. But let's talk about this game specifically. What is going to look different in this Manchester United team, do you think?
I can't wait for it. Portman Road, Sunday, all eyes on me, under the lights. It's the beauty of the Premier League, man. And you've got an Ipswich side that have kind of turned the corner a little bit. I don't know why he's pulling faces. We'll come to
the beauty of the Premier League. Ipswich against Man United.
No, but it is. It's this behemoth in Manchester United, a club that has got so much history, but over the last 10 years they've struggled, and they've struggled in the dugout in terms of finding the right man. And you've got Kieran McKenna against a team that he knows very, very well, leading an Ipswich side that have had a turnaround over the last couple of weeks. That win against Spurs was absolutely huge for them. But the narrative's all about Ruben Amorim and what he's going to do and what he's going to wear.
That's in a separate video, though.
But Man United, they've struggled this season to find consistency. They owe a lot of credit or a lot of thanks to Ruben Amorim, who steadied the ship before the international break and kind of set them on this path of a decent run of form. But it's about the three at the back and what that looks like, what the wing-backs look like. Do they look more like wingers? Do they look more like full-backs? What he does in terms of who puts in those positions. Who's the back three? Is Len Euro going to come back straight back in and start? Because it's the first time in a long time the Man United have got a fully fit squad. Luke
it's
Shaw's
convenient.
back.
It seems to happen a lot when they get a new manager. Everyone seems to be fit.
Everyone's fit. Even Luke Shaw's fit. Malasia's back as well. And so it's about the personnel and what positions they put them in. Obviously, the final form of Ruben Amorim's Man United team looks very different to what it would look like on Sunday. But it's about what players he puts in what positions and how the three at the back looks in the Manchester United team.
It's a very interesting period in the season because a lot of people felt Ten Hag should have got sacked earlier. Yeah. Amorim comes in after an international break, does his last game for Sporting, gets the whole hurrah that he got, which I thought was so strange, but is what it is. And then he comes into this game where they play at Ipswich, and a lot of people will say, yeah, Ipswich are a bit better, but this should be a win for Manchester United. So it's almost a nice way to start with a psychological boost.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, Kweku sort of went through the team there thinking about like what formation they could play, what players they could play. I don't really think it matters very much. I think particularly for Manchester United, they've got a new manager now. All of those players that are in that squad are top players. They're all £50 million plus players. They've been drastically underperforming, whether that's because of them, which we'll find out in about 6 months' time, or whether that's because of Erik Ten Hag. I can tell you for a fact, though, that they will all put in maximum effort on for this game, for absolute certain. They'll all be trying to impress the new manager, and that's what is the most important thing. I think I wouldn't be surprised to see Rashford start and score. He's obviously been in terrible form recently. I wouldn't be surprised to see that at all. I just think Ipswich probably won't have enough for United. I don't think Ipswich probably would have enough for United at the best of cases, even maybe under Ten Hag. But I think with Amorim coming in, everyone will be trying to impress him. All the players will be on form. All the players are now fit when they weren't before. As you mentioned, slightly suspicious, but we'll see. We'll see what the case is. But yeah, I mean, I don't think it's the pride of the Premier League, as Kweku tried to say, but it will be a good game. It'll be entertaining for sure.
It's a storyline, isn't it? Like
narrative.
Like a team that is relatively not well off versus probably the most well-off team in the division. New manager coming in, all glammed up. We all hope for that. Ed Sheeran singing before kick-off. Like, everything's happening. Everything's happening at Ipswich.
What's happening?
You're just unhappy.
I'm not unhappy. I love football. I can't wait to watch the football.
Do you know what it is, Nubaid? I think it's because City got turned over by Ruben Amorim's Sporting side, and he's got a bit of hate.
It has absolutely nothing to do with that. It's just you two spending 5 minutes betting whether he's going to wear a jumper or tracksuit before the video.
He might wear both.
Let's just focus on the football.
Okay, in terms of the football, I'm looking at this Man United team, and we said it before when we did a previous show. Wing-backs are full-backs that want more, or wingers that need less. Yeah. And I think that's, because you talked about Rashford scoring, but where does Rashford fit in? If he's going to play with those kind of narrow wingers behind their striker, which we assume is going to be Højlund, for me, those players are Bruno Fernandez and Amad Diallo. I think that works quite well as those narrow players behind the striker. And then you've got the wing-backs. Is it going to be a case of Luke Shaw, or does Luke Shaw drop into the left side of the back three? Do you have Terrell Malacia on the left hand side? Do you have Garnacho on the right hand side? Like, who do you have as those wing backs? And I think that's very, very interesting, because I don't necessarily think the personnel at Manchester United right now fits what Amorim wants to do.
I agree with that to an extent, but I think the best coaches are able to be adaptable and find other types of solutions. And I think he is one of those coaches. I think Rashford does play through the middle, to be honest, because I don't think he's got a home for him in one of those narrow positions. But also, if you look at Gyökeres' profile, he's rapid, and I think he relies on a forward that's aggressive when he runs in straight lines, and that is what Rashford is really good at doing.
Is that not Højlund?
He's not there yet, is he?
No,
he's
and
not there yet.
I also think like they'll need someone who's willing to run beyond and receive the ball. My problem with Højlund is he runs beyond, but he is clunky in possession because he's raw, and I don't think they can put them demands on him yet. I think in the two narrow positions, we'll come to one guy because I want to ask you about him. Mason Mount will play because I think that position is made for him, which is so strange because. If you asked me 3 weeks ago under Ten Hag, I was like, Mount's gone in January. But now I'm looking at that and I'm going, he's someone who wants possession in those tight spaces. He's brilliant at pressing. The one that I wonder about, and we did speak about this before, and you actually answered the question when I asked Kim, what happens with Bruno? Because those two narrow positions are two guys who need to receive the ball in the half turn. Bruno, I would genuinely, this is a crazy thing to say. For me, Bruno Fernandez' playing style is like a right back. He's Trent. Like what Trent is at Liverpool, Bruno could do that job.
Guys, you underrate Bruno so much.
No, not even. No.
The last few times we've spoken about Bruno, you've said Man United are a better team without him. I can tell you for a fact, not for a fact, because I don't know inside Ruben Amorim's mind, but if I was him, I'd be building the squad around him.
Oh.
Of course you build the squad around your best player. It doesn't make any sense. He's the best at receiving the ball. He's got the best touch. He's the best passer, and he's probably the best shooter.
Worst decision making in the team.
Yeah, worst decision making under a manager who had very poor managerial credentials, who was terrible at Manchester United, and we could all see that. Under a manager who you two have both said has aura. Well, why don't you use some of that aura and you try and manage your best player into playing well?
Okay, I understand what you're saying.
Sorry, carry on a second. You can't pass aura around. It doesn't work that way. Carry on.
So
I'm new to the
with
phenomenon.
Bruno Fernandez, it's an interesting situation because all those things you said are right in terms of like his ability with the ball at his feet. There is not many better players than him in the Premier League. It's what goes on up there. It's the decision making, and I do think that Ruben Amorim, because he's a very good manager and he'll make do with what he's got, will make do with Bruno Fernandez this season. He has to. He's the club captain, just signed a new contract. He's also Portuguese. It wouldn't make sense for him to drop him at this stage. It kind of works in the system he wants to work with. Long term, if Man United want to win league titles, that is without Bruno Fernandes in their starting 11. Unfortunately, the way that he plays football is not conducive to winning on the highest level consistently. You need to make the right decisions all the time. With Man City, when you're still in the era of dominance, all of those players make the right decisions all the time. Whether it's Bernardo Silva, whether it's Gundogan, whether it's Kevin De Bruyne, they can all play that 30-yard Hollywood ball, but what they do really well, and why City are the best team, is because they make the right passes at the right time. And Bruno Fernandes, unfortunately, because of mitigating circumstances, doesn't and hasn't done that for Man United.
Do you think that if you put De Bruyne in that Man United side being managed by Erik ten Hag, do you not think that he would think, I've got the ability to make this pass, and his decision making would be influenced by the players around him and by the style of football?
No,
surely with a good manager, if you're saying that the only issue with Bruno Fernandes is this mentality and decision making, it doesn't take that long for a manager to instill that into a player. Because he had it before, he had it at Sporting, he was their best player by an absolute country mile, which is why he got brought over to the Premier League. There's no reason why he can't have it again. He's been mismanaged dreadfully by managers who haven't understood him and probably haven't been at the requisite quality.
He thrives in chaos, Bruno Fernandes. He's an agent of chaos, and don't get it twisted. Just to watch with the ball at his feet, he's unbelievable. I think he's an incredible footballer. But I've seen this under multiple managers now with Bruno Fernandes. I've seen it under Oli. I've seen it under Ten Hag. I've seen it on the international stage as well. There was a point during the 2022 World Cup where he was dropped by Portugal because of poor decision making, and they looked like a better side without him. He's an incredible footballer, been a great servant to Manchester United. This season, he can help them win those trophies I think they need to win. I think Man United's best chance to qualify for the Champions League is winning the Europa League. I think he can do that, and I think he'll have big moments in it. FA Cup final last season had a great game. I just think in terms of trying to win the league, 38 games as your club captain, I don't think Bruno Fernandes serves that role in terms of a team conducive to winning the Premier League title.
All right, Ipswich, United. What's the score?
2-0 United.
3-1 United.
I'm going to go 3-0 United. Comfortable.